Chris and Chris Morgan. It's beginning of a new year. 2024 is gone. 2025 is on its way. Happy New Year from Rack Time. We want to come on here and make a short video and discuss a few things. It's my favorite time of year, pretty much. I love deer hunting, but I also love shed hunting. As you can look in the background, I enjoy it. It teaches me a whole lot about these whitetail and where they're staying at and what they're eating on. It really teaches me a whole lot about them. So I'm excited about getting out there and finding some bones. I know Roger has messaged me and told me that guys down their way around Buchanan has found a few sheds.
Really?
Yeah, he sent me a picture the other day. There's a buck standing there eating, didn't have any horns, and the one of the sheds laid in the background. So
I know
this was a week ago. So, but none of our bucks have. I mean, all my cameras, none of my bucks have lost anything. They all still hold pretty strong. But want to discuss the importance of mineral and feeding as far as P&R goes. Roger sent me a little thing earlier before we got down here and get started, and it's very important. I've been putting mineral out, on and off all season, and those deer still hit it pretty regular. I'm gonna actually send you some pictures and let you post in the Rack Time. Got some pictures of me putting the mineral out, and then days afterwards, the deer coming in are hitting it really hard right now. But want to discuss a little bit about mineral and protein feed. The blocks. It's all a great product, and these deer need it right now more than any other time. I mean, we all want to get them in front of us while we're hunting, but as far as deer management and
food sources gone,
yeah, I mean, there's still some nuts on the ground. I found a few, but as far as keeping these deer healthy and wanting to turn out really well next year or next 2025 season, we want to try to do all we can to help them get through the winter months. But it helps them with the pregnancy of a lot of these doe going into the winter are pregnant, and the mineral will help them, with this pregnancy. They'll have healthy babies, post rut recovery. These bucks we went over and bear hunted the other day, and you saw for yourself, a couple of bucks came out there and they was just beat to death.
Oh yeah, they was broke. I think we actually posted one of the videos on the Rack Time TikTok, and it's on YouTube with the busted up buck.
But yeah, they just run to death, beat down. It helped those bucks recover. Give them some good mineral out there to them, help them heal back up, get some weight back on them. Winter stress, give them plenty of mineral, plenty of protein feed. They're out looking for that food, and the food source is not there. They get stressed out, and that'll help them. The digestive system, it's a great product. It help these deer really become what you want them to become. And antler growth is kind of one of the most important things for us. I mean, we all want to kill a giant deer, and by giving them this product, the P&R product, you can really help with that antler growth.
That separates your hunters, man. You got the traditional hunter. Hunting season comes around, they'll pour out a bag of corn, set them to stand up, they'll hunt. And then you've got the guys who want to manage.
Yeah.
And they'll manage all year round throughout the summer months, and even into the deer hunting season. They're still managing other stands out here.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes to grow big bones.
Yeah, me and Roger were talking earlier in the week. We're already prepping for 2025.
One day later, already.
I mean, it's the first day of the new year, and we're already making preparations for the up and coming season. And if you really want to be successful, you got to do that. I mean, it's hard to be successful just showing up in October and just going out, throwing out a bag of corn and just start hanging stands. And you mess up by getting your scent in the area, and you need those stands pretty much already, in a position where you want to be. And
that's a question that I had for you in particular. All right, on the should you hunt a deer stand
Well, I mean, if you're seeing deer, obviously, if you're seeing a pile of deer, I don't see anything wrong with it. If you're not getting busted, they're not. You know, a lot of hunters they play the wind, and Southern West Virginia, you can go ahead and just you can forget that here because the wind direction in these mountains change 25 different times a day. I mean, you don't ever have a constant wind. I use ozonics. I'm a firm believer in ozonics. I really believe it helps 110% in these mountains. But you can't play the wind here. I don't see anything wrong. You don't want to overhunt your spot because if you're getting pictures of him and he's just nighttime, showing up at nighttime nocturnal, I would probably relocate and just try to find where he's coming from or where he's going to, and that's what me and Rogers talked about this year. Is we got to find out where these deer. I actually talked to buddy Lloyd a couple of days ago. We got to try to figure out where these deer are coming and going from, and finding these sheds. It kind of teaches you a whole lot about where they're staying at as far as bedding, and I find most of them between food and beds. So. Yeah. It really teaches you a whole lot, educates you about what these deer are doing.
There was a documentary that you showed me, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. The thermal energy, it puts play in it.
Oh yeah,
there's a balloon in that area, then that's a bedding ground.
Yeah, I find a lot of these antlers around balloons. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I find a lot of balloons in this area. And it's normally a bedding area, and I'll just start making little circles, around those balloons, and 9 times out of 10, I'll end up finding a shed antler. I've hunted several bucks in the past, and it's before I've really started hunting thermals and knowing what it was and what they do, but I hunted this buck for years. I actually had an opportunity at him in one certain spot, and he kind of relocated on me. So I tried to, reposition myself to get on him, and got set up in there. And I mean, I was 50 foot up in a tree, man, in a big oak, just trying to, beat this deer's nose. And I hunted him all year. Every time I would hunt that deer, he would not show up. And the moment I would leave, and I tried every angle. I had people to bring me in and drop me off and then leave, and then I would park a mile away and walk in there so he wouldn't hear me coming. I mean, I tried every angle with this deer. I mean, it is a great, great deer. And I just couldn't make it happen. And then shed season comes and I get to looking, right there where I was at, and there was a balloon about 50 yards over the hill from me. Yeah. And I believe that he just played the thermals every time he come in there.
It down on you, no matter how high you was up.
My scent was pulling down, no matter what way the wind was blowing there. And that deer was just really smart, and he knew I was there every time I was there. I didn't use ozonics then. I wish I would have had it. I think it would have made a difference, but it's hard to play the wind in these mountains, man. It's really tough.
I've got you another question. Speaking of the mountains. I've been watching a lot of podcasts and stuff. I ain't gonna mention no names or anything, but they're on YouTube as well. These guys are hunting, places that's got fields, like Iowa and Illinois and places like that. They've got these fields, and Texas being one of them. So they're sitting here doing, showing these little cross drains and stuff, and said late season, you need to go backwards. Okay. Now a lot of the hardcore hunters are like, don't hunt over a pile of corn. You don't feed, you don't bait. Okay, they say if you are baiting, to go back to the roots originally of hunting, like the old timers, okay, and hunt a scrape line. Okay, but here's the thing about us that I was wanting to ask you. Okay, say you're set up on a scrape line. Say you're mid-mountain. All right, these mountain ranges are totally different than these pastures, obviously. All right. You're mid-mountain, come down through here, logging road. All right, you have a scrape line on this logging road. You're baiting down 50 yards, 100 yards from that, okay? Then deer will not come down to you. If you hunt that scrape line, will you have a better chance at getting the big buck than, I mean, we know these 3-year-olds are gonna come right in, but to hunt that big buck, do you think he'd be in the scrape lines? Cause he ain't coming to your corn.
Well, I mean, it's obviously when you're baiting, those deer are gonna go on the downwind side of wherever that bait pile is. I don't care what they have to do, they're gonna make a loop, and it's the same way with a scrape line.
Yeah.
Those bucks will naturally come downwind of those scrapes, and they'll position themselves where they'll be downwind of that scrape line, and you know, they're gonna smell if you're hunting on the upper side of that. And most of the time you want to get on the downwind side of that scrape, kind of position yourself in a place where you're probably, say, 60 to 80 yards off of that scrape. And if that buck comes in there on the downwind side of that scrape, you know, he's going to put,
he's going to come right through there.
He's going to put him right in front of you, you know, and most of the time he'll miss your scent.
So here you, in this state, you wouldn't hunt the scrape line itself. You wouldn't go set up on that scrape line.
I'll never, yeah, you want to set it kind of off the scrape line, because my experience, most of these deer will hit those scrapes at nighttime here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you run cameras on scrapes, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be in the dark when they're on those scrapes. And in the daylight, they'll come through there, and like I say, they'll get on the downwind side, they'll scent check those scrapes and see if there've been any doe come through there and use them. So you want to position yourself, if you're going to hunt a scrape line, you want to position yourself on the downwind side of that scrape, you know, off of a pretty good distance. So if that buck comes through there, he's going to put him right in front of you. It'll be between you and the scrape.
That's tough thinking, man.
And they're hard to hunt here, just because of the wind direction. They're really hard to hunt here.
You know, these hunters, you see, you watch these hunters and stuff, they make it look easy. They do. And you know that they have the time of preparation in like we do.
Oh, yeah.
Man, listen, until you come and hunt the Appalachian Mountains, I don't care if it's West Virginia, I don't care if it's up towards Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
and down towards the Blue Ridge Mountains and all that. It's all tied in the same.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough because of that reason.
Yeah, these mountains are tough to hunt. I mean, you get in that flatland, you can play the wind, and it makes it a little easier. But these mountains are tough to hunt the wind. So I just use my ozonics and hope for the best. That's all you can do. But if you guys, you know, if you're thinking about, you know, getting some product out there, please try PNR.
Yeah.
Get some mineral, get some protein feed to these deer. If you're a diehard hunter, and kind of like we are, I don't never give up on these deer. I try to, you know, give them all they need year round, just so they can, you know, be the best they can. Please try it. I mean, give Roger a shout. Just look at our website, the Ragtime website. We'll share his information on there all the time.
It's on TikTok, it's on YouTube. The PNR information is always on it. And I mean, all you hunters, you know, that's down towards Texas and stuff, that's managing deer already. I'm telling you, man, if you all give this right here a try and give your deer the very best nutrition that they need, you're going to absolutely flip these deer from 140 3-year-olds to 160-inch 3-year-olds.
Yeah, so Rogers actually has some deer farmers now that's buying the protein, his feed, and they love it. I mean, those deer are tearing it up, man, and they come and get it every year or every other month from him, and
it's completely changed the way up north is.
It's helped. The owners say that it's helping their herd. Doing a really good job. So we're just excited about 2025.
Yeah.
Been a tough year, but you know, it's been a good year. We've had fun. Seen a lot of deer, got a lot of videos, and made a bunch of memories. But
is there any advice to the people that's wanting to start shed hunting? See, shed hunting, it's an old thing, but it's a new thing. Because a lot of people, they're like, how do they find these horns? Is there any advice that you can give the people from West Virginia and other states on where to find these?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, you play the food and the beds. I mean, it's the same thing. South facing slopes, I have really good success on south facing. The first place that sun hits when daylight comes, those deer are just like us. It's cold, it's wintertime. when that sun comes out, they want to warm up. So they're spending a lot of time on those south facing slopes where that sun's hitting most of the day, and find a lot of bone there. I really don't do good on trails and stuff. Most of the time, it's a food source or a bed or just somewhere in between. Um, I'm averaging year to year around 60 to 80 sheds. That's awesome in southern Western.
And that's on public land. That ain't, you know, on these farms or anything like that.
I'm not on.
He's not running a fence line on you, buddy.
No, it's just a lot on public, and you know, on the lease that I'm on, I find a lot of sheds, but a lot of miles, man. You gotta do a little extra, go the extra mile. Miles make piles, and that's not lying. That's average 7 to 8 miles most of the time every trip, and sometimes I'll hit 12, 15 miles a trip. So when I got time, but when I got not a couple hours to kill, I'll normally do 5 to 7 miles.
You don't kill time, you kill the person behind you trying to keep up with you.
But it's fun, man. It teaches you a whole lot about these whitetail. I enjoy doing it. But I guess that's about all we got today. We'll get on here. Hopefully we'll have some new bone next episode. We do. But
we're going to be doing some educational videos too on every time we find shed, either we're together or apart. Chris actually already has a few on TikTok. We shared them to the page.
Yeah.
So
y'all just keep liking, subscribing, and sharing, man. Let people know about us. We're just a couple old country boys loving whitetail hunting and sharing our passion and our dream with others. And hopefully we can help somebody out there and give you some information on our area, and maybe you can share some on yours. Respond. Give us some response. Communicate with us, and we'll do all we can to communicate back. And if you have any questions, you shoot us a message on the Rack Time page.
Yep, talk to us on there. Let us get to know you. We might invite you down hunting.
Yeah, never know, man. It's a fun place to come and spend some time in the rut.
Oh, it's different being around the hillbillies in the woods. Yeah. You'll learn a lot.
Yeah, but I guess that's it for today. You got anything
else?
All right, buddy. Hey, until next time.
It's Rack Time.